The next question is, with economic realities facing our country, state, and city, do you believe the problems lies with the government spending too much or not bringing enough income? Please give specifics on the programs and the policies you would use to rectify the problem. Gladly. I'll say it in English this time, I promise. Okay. With the economic realities facing our country, state, and city, do you believe the problem lies with the government spending too much or not bringing in enough income? Please give us specifics on the programs and policies you would use to rectify the problem. Mr. Williams, you are first in the docket. And you have 3 minutes.
3 minutes instead of 2. Boy, you really messed me up now. Gosh, you want to talk about government spending and, you know, hopefully out of this process, starting here in St. Petersburg, and our government all over, that the people can take back the country that our forefathers gave us. We're missing it. I've been so angry, it's unbelievable. I was on Bay News 9's Wednesday, and it aired today. And I was asked the question, is that a signature tie that you have? And my tie, which I love, says "We the people." We've lost that in this country, and I think where it begins right back at a local level, right here for this job, for mayor. About spending, is there any question how many of here got your own business and you can make a phone call and without any rules, regulations, and without elected people even reading the papers, can make decisions that takes away the money that you've earned? What is wrong with our thought process? What's wrong with our thought process is the people that are elected. That's why this election for St. Petersburg is important. Now, what would I do different? First of all, I think it's an accountability issue. I think it's an honesty issue. And I think it's a get-it-done policy issue. Those are the things that I had proven when I was on city council as an elected official that I could do. Got them done. Cut your taxes every time we could. Cut programs that we didn't think that made any sense. That's what's wrong with this country, and we got to take it back. And I'm hopefully that we can begin on a very local level here in St. Petersburg. Thank you very much.
Mr. Gibbons. I don't know. Are you? Can you see through that?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
To answer your question, yes and yes. Yes, the government spends too much money, and we need to figure out how to cut our spending. Plain and simple, in my Gibbons plan that you'll see coming forward, my plan is from the people. I didn't create a platform in a room with 5 or 6 advisors. What I did is I went out and I had coffees all throughout this community, all across this community, and asked the people, what were the most important issues? And they felt like they were being taxed too much. How do you change that? Well, one, you prioritize spending in city government. Stop just spending. In my home, I only spend what I can write a check for, or what I have in my budget. We got to learn to live within our means in city government and stop just spending and spending and spending. Prioritize that frontline employees and delivery of services to you is the #1 issue. If we can do that, then those are the things that we have to do. And the charter says that we have to deliver public safety. That's priority #1. Police and fire. Let's do that. Let's start by doing what the charter says. #1, police and fire. #2, delivery of services, sanitation, and so on. And then how do you cut? Easily. I think you have to look to be entrepreneurial in your city government. Stop having programs and services that don't bring back or generate money to the city. And stop always looking to charge you or tax you to bring money in. An example is there are parks and recreations departments all across the country that have special programs. Now, you may not use every one of those programs, but there could be people that live in Lettleman or Largo that we have intramural sports and so many other things that you could charge people for it and you could bring in a profit. We don't look to be entrepreneurial, we look to spend. And as mayor, I'm not going to look to spend, I'm going to look to cut first and make sure that you have the most dollars in your pocket and not coming to the city coffers.
Ms. Ford.
Thank you. I am the only candidate who has a budget proposal out there for this fiscal year. And I am the only candidate who has suggested cutting $2.9 million of bloated government. Is the government spending too much? Yes. And I've identified where it needs to be cut. We have over 64 folks making greater than $100,000 in management in the city of St. Petersburg. Way too much. By cutting 16 of those positions and 10% reduction in some of the other folks making over $90,000, we can save close to $3 million. I propose cutting taxes by $500,000, which is approximately $7 million. For too long, from 2001 to 2007, government just ballooned. What do we have to show for it, though? We never had enough police officers. What were they doing with all the money? Well, other than losing some of it in risky investments, the city was tucking it away in those fund balances that I told you about. If you're not going to spend it on government services, and I certainly think we should save some of it for a rainy day fund, but not $178 million of it, which is what is in the fund balance today, just the fund balances. I think we've got to make sure that that money goes back to the people who can use it, better know how to spend your own money. The other thing that really concerns me is the idea of private businesses thinking they can put their hands in the public purse. $300 million is what the Rays were asking of your dollars for a new stadium. As you all know, that's a private, for-profit company. Is that where your tax dollars should be placed? I have a private business. I have to pay rent. I have to pay mortgages. I don't ask you all to pay it. I think it's real important that if anybody wants to come and ask for public dollars, that the public have an opportunity to weigh in on that. For that reason, I drafted a charter amendment that would give the people the right to vote on any proposals to use city assets to build any professional sports facilities. If it's that great for the community, then it's an idea that can be sold and the community can vote for it. I don't think it's a decision that I, Kathleen Ford, should make one way or the other. But I was very troubled by the process that I witnessed. And I was the only candidate who was out there in the public saying, wait a minute, why are we making these decisions in secret where we have a current perfectly good stadium and perfectly good contract? Why? Why are you dealing with folks secretly and not out in the public? That's not what we expect of our elected officials. That's not how we expect our money to be spent. And I love baseball. We were season ticket holders. We had a sweet interest. We did all of that. But we paid for that out of our pocket. I think the public needs to have their dollars spent wisely.